There are games that fail, there are games that disappointed, and then there are games that never even existed, yet somehow, and managing to define an entire generation of players. Imagine a Xbox exclusive game where you fight side by side with a giant dragon, customizable and playable in co-op with your friends. That was the promise of Scalebound, one of the most famous cancelled games in Xbox history. Hey everyone, I am XAKN in Xbox Live X Game RGR, and welcome to my channel and welcome you know the game. Today we are talking about Scalebound, and that will be the first video of this series. And we were talking about what this game was supposed to be, why it got so much hype, what went so wrong that Microsoft decided to cancel it, and why people is still talking about it these days. Well, let's go on. And what was Scalebound actually? Scalebound was being developed by PlatinumGames, the studio behind titles like Bayonetta and Nier Automata, known for fast, stylish action games. It was a game announced at E3 2014. Oh, the beloved E3, we miss you, but okay. As an action RPG exclusively for Xbox One and Windows PCs, focused on third-person combat and the partnership between the main character, Drill, and his dragon, Tuban, in the world of Draconis. The idea, it was amazing, was to mix a fast-paced action with RPG's elements, skills, points, gear, dragon customization, and even the co-op up to 4 players, each one fight alongside with their dragon, unique styles, if I can say, by the way. You probably are saying, why we get so much hype? So that's basically the big hook of Scalebound was the relationship with the dragon. You could customize in Tuban appearance and abilities, tweaking armors, body parts, attacks styles to make him feel truly unique. In combat, Drill fought on the ground in the third person using weapons and ability, while the dragon came with a huge devastation attacks, tearing through the enemies and changing the flow of the battles. In some moments, Drill could even enter a more powerful, almost dragon-like form to boost his damage. Basically, what I can say for you, it will be a Monster Hunter game with a huge upgrading using the monsters by your side, if I can say. The game mixed RPG progression, big boss fighting open arenas, and loot systems with PlatinumGames' signature responsive stylish combat. On top of that, the promise of the 4 players co-op, each player with their own dragon, sound perfect to become a big multiplayer showcase for an Xbox One at the time of the announcement. But the things is not going well, so yeah, we're having some complicated issues from the outside. Scalebound looked like the perfect package. A respected studio, a unique concept, and a big exclusive to straighten the Xbox One lineup. But behind the scenes, development was a lot of a hogger than it seemed. A lot of reports about the project and how was the progression about this mentioned that the project was much larger in scope than what Platinum was supposed to use it and making some games, especially on the online with player side, and with the Unreal Engine 4, which the studio didn't fully master at that time. The game faced delays, internally changed, technical issues, and schedule pressure. So the game was supposed to be releasing in holiday 2016, but the game was delayed yet, but without no dates. But unfortunately, in January 2017, Microsoft officially announced that Scalebound had been cancelled, ending that project in that time. Why Microsoft decided this, and it was not only decision of the Microsoft, but also from the guys of Platinum Games. So this was mentioned years after the cancellation. Platinum started talking more openly about the Scalebound after the DNA ends about the projects. In interviews, the studio admitted that the blame didn't lie only with the Microsoft, and that they themselves made mistakes in how they handled the project and its development. Atsushi Inaba, one of Platinum's leaders, said fans shouldn't put in all the anger on the Microsoft because both of the publisher and the studio fail in different areas, and learning hard lessons from the process. Hideki Kayami, the game director and creator of Bayonetta, went even further. He took responsibility for Scalebound fail, saying it was on Platinum and on him as a director, and that Microsoft shouldn't be seen as the main villain in this history. In another interview, Kabiyama said he believes development may have gone differently in Scalebound, had been backed by a Japanese publisher instead of an Xbox Western division. According to him, a Japanese companies tending to be more open to experimenting with weird or unconventional ideas and giving them more time to grow, while Western publishers usually push hard for quick results and for games that fit proven familiar formats like first-person shooters. We haven't seen these a lot of these days about the games that have been releasing for the public. Even so, Kayama also made it clear that this doesn't mean a Japanese publisher would have automatically saved Scalebound, just that the negotiation process, the feedback, and the expectations might have been different. From the side of the Microsoft, Microsoft officially messages has always been that the canceling Scalebound was a tough decision, but one they made thinking about the quality and about what was the best for the Xbox Odyssey in that time. Articles from the principal news about the games that we have in the internet, like Eurogamer, EGN, troubled the development. The team under heavy pressure, people needing time off to recovery, serious technical problems with Unreal Engine 4, very high graphics ambitions, and big challenges with open world multiplayer system. In the end, both Platinum and Microsoft statement point to the same conclusion. Scalebound grew too big for the studio's technical experience at that moment, and the project became too heavy for both sides to carry on. Even today, we have a lot of people talking about that. Specialized sites always talk that Scalebound almost like it's a modern urban legend, a very promising exclusive with dragons, co-op, strong identity that end up become a symbol of missed opportunity of an Xbox era. Some of these pieces highlighted cool details and ideas, like inspirations from Western RPGs such as The Elder Scrolls and Dragon Age, the plan to customize individual parts of Tuban, a dynamic soundtrack tied to drill headphones, and even concepts of particularly transforming drill into a dragon-like form during combat. All of this adds to the feeling that Scalebound had a strong, unique concept, but it's never reached a stable, shippable state that we couldn't actually play. Even cancelled, Scalebound became a kind of a legend among Xbox fans. A lot of people still saying it could have been a major action exclusive for the platform, especially for players who love giant monster customization and online co-op. Some articles and rumors bring us games preservation talk about internal builds and speculating how Scalebound could fit today on more powerful hardwares like the Xbox Series consoles, or maybe a fully reimagined project or a spiritual successor. For Platinum Games, the cancellation also left a mark in the studio. The studio leaders have said multiple times that they learned a lot from this failure, and that is the kind of mistake they don't want to repeat on the future projects. I hope so, actually. When you put in all of this together, it's clear that Scalebound wasn't just a game that Microsoft killed. It was the result of too much ambition, complicated technology, different work cultures, and a studio that at the time wasn't ready to deliver everything it had promises. I don't know, maybe that's exactly why it is still so talking about Scalebound is a perfect example of how an incredible idea can get lost along the way, even when you're having a huge name like Microsoft and Platinum Games involved. And what about you? Would you play Scalebound if somehow came back today? Maybe a reimagined for a current generation or a spiritual successor? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you have more information about Scalebound that I'm not shared here, please leave a comment on. I hope so that one day we can see an early building of this game in somehow an Xbox One racket that's possible run Rummy Brews, and that we having like access of these building ups that already having like gameplays at the internet for us can see. And also tell me which other cancelled game would like to see covering here in the next video. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching guys, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.